Hello and good evening. Welcome to the UN podcast. This is actually my second stream for the day. So give myself a little. And that was way too loud.
Nice. You deserve it.
Give myself a super round of applause.
There you go.
All right. No, I watched the Xbox Live showcase and I streamed it. And actually watching like that and the PlayStation 1 and just like various other stuff, I'm just to the point where I'm getting like burnt out on just pop culture stuff in general. Oh, dude, I don't know. It's just is. All right, I pulled up something I wanted to show you. Where is it?
You mean you're not having fun?
All right. This is the new. All right, you've heard of God of War, right?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a game coming out that is like a spin-off of God of War, and the internet has been making quite a lot of fun of it. Right. So this is God of War Lao Fei. Right.
There is no escape. How hard?
Okay. Let me get to the point I want to show you.
The gateway is closed. There is no escape.
See this face? The actual actress is she's not unattractive, but she's not ugly, right? She's actress attractive, right? She doesn't look like she looks something like this. So this is how modern games look. It's like I was telling you about like earlier today. No tits, no hips. When you watch, like when you like see, look, fingernails chewed off. Right? Look at this.
nice stop, Sheldon.
Right. That it just. All right. Then you get to this one. These are the only two females you see in this thing. Like this is a female.
Resisting the truth will only make this more painful.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
All right. So you got that. And then this is the other part that people were actually making a lot of fun of today.
Call it the everyone.
So a lot of times you get a companion, right? Where do you see what her companion looks like?
So, what's the plan, boss?
Not your boss, Frank. That cask. That's why you're trapped.
Yeah. Wait,
Oh.
you made that big explosion happen, right? Could you do that again?
My magic is wrong here.
All right. So let's get to the fire.
It's a cube.
Look at her. Nothing appealing about that. There's inks everywhere, and flames.
Lady, you need to get out of here.
Not until I
Man.
get you out.
I don't need help.
But again, I'm going to show you See the cube attacking people?
At this point, I'd rather take a ferry.
Right. So it's like, who is this for? God of War 3, right? At the end of God of War 3, you have killed every god. Use Kratos. Kratos is yelling and screaming through the entire friggin' game. He has killed every god. The way that it opens is you and the Titans climb up to Mount Olympus to attack your father Zeus, right? Okay. So this is the game where that is supposed to appeal to the same people who played as Kratos yelling and screaming all the time. And Kratos in the like in the newer games where he's more introspective, but he's still ripping people apart. So like who in the heck? But then you see the game director. The game director comes up and it's a chubby white lady, the chubby white Karen. So when you see that, it's like, oh, okay. That's why all the women are ugly. And the person who supposedly first she said that she wrote it. Right, her name is Alana Pierce. She said that she wrote it at first. Now, because of the immense amount of backlash, right? She's like, no, well, I worked there for 4 years and then I left in 2024. But a lot of the stuff that I made is probably not in it no more.
Oh, really?
Right. So it's like, who greenlit this?
Excuse me.
Who, like, and it is not even a prequel, it's a sequel. It is a sequel to the popular God of War games. The director is like, well, just give it a chance. But also the director is saying how all the villains in the game are like billionaires in their assholes. It's like, stop. Just stop. Stop comparing everything. The whole purpose of a video game is to get away from the stuff in real life. Stop doing this. The freaking chick from Supergirl needs to stop doing this. It's like it is pulling everyone out of just wanting to enjoy the things as an escape, right? I just don't. Right. And then when I'm looking through the Xbox showcase, is the same thing. It's women here, women there, women. The amount of times in a modern game where you kill women because they've decided to make all the, like, if you play any stealth or espionage thing or whatever, they decided to make half the security forces female. So you're going into this thing and you're getting rid of like various security forces here and there, and half of them will be female. Military shooters. You got women. Half half the soldiers are female. There is a Gears of War E-Day, right? It's like a prequel to the Gears of War games. There's a lady on your squad. She's a female. The people you're fighting are bigger than humans. It is the most ridiculous thing. I would spend more time trying to protect you because the people that you're shooting are really tough. So unless you hit them in the head, you could actually like wound them and they can still come up and kill you. And they show that in the trailer where the main guy, Marcus Phoenix, gets picked up by one, like the dude picked him up with one hand, and he already stabbed the guy who picked him up by one hand. What is a female gonna do if the big burly dude is getting manhandled by this thing?
Probably not much.
Right, and it's the most and it's just more and more and more of that. Castlevania has a new game coming out. It's the like now there's a woman Belmont cat like the Belmonts or whatever. Now it's somebody's the granddaughter who's going after Dracula or whatever. Somebody put up a list of all the games that had male protagonists that have been changed over to female.
probably
Like, it's-
a bigger list than I would think.
Hmm?
It's probably a bigger list than what I would think.
yeah, it's basically all of them. Like most of the ones that are like super popular, yeah, they come out with a sequel and it's a girl. So somebody was like, "Well, why was everybody upset about the fact that they did this?" Is like, did you not think Kratos was coming back? I'm like, the evidence points to something else. Is you hire all of these women to run all of these gaming companies, and they write things for women. Your customer base is men. So then you get mad when the men don't buy your game that you wrote for women.
There's a slight disconnect there, huh?
Well, it's just like bro, like aren't you tired of them spotting off about stuff, and it is just pontificating about how they hate men and this, but still go see my movie, even though I keep talking about how men are this and men are that. And there's like a game that came out called Concord, and Sony lost like I think $400 million or something on it.
Oh wow.
The character designs, all the men are various degrees of shirtless. There's like an alien dude with no shirt on. There's like robot that have no clothes on. There's the human dude or humanoid or whatever has a vest on. So all the men are, like I said, various forms of shirtless. All the women have clothing where it is covering like this. This is where this all the way down up to like this. So all the women look like this.
Wearing a little turtleneck.
Turtlenecks. You can't see like there is no curves. And this is like that's why all those Japanese and yeah. Speaking of which, I will show you this thing that's getting a lot of Stellar Blade. All right. So there was controversy about the first Stellar Blade, right? I don't know if you heard of this particular game.
Stellar Blade? No.
Stellar Blade. This is by a Korean. All right, okay. So this is a Korean. Here we go. Okay, so get to the point where you see what she looks like.
Her legacy.
Everyone's happy to call you.
All right, so this is the person that you play as, all right? So there was like this whole thing where, all right, so this is her and like one of her squad mates, right? So this whole thing, keep in mind, this game was written by a female.
Oh,
right,
okay.
Written by a female, and they were saying, well, no woman looks like that. And then the director was like, this is the model for the like who for the character looks exactly like that, same body, everything. They're like, oh, okay. But this is how, like, I told you before, you could basically tell if it's a Korean company or if it's like an Eastern company or Western company. Eastern companies still make women attractive. Western companies make them look like that. But they just so the new controversy, because they're making a sequel, right? I'll show you what she looks like. My internet's acting weird. All right, so
Scarlet Sin. That's the beginning and end of it all. How about you try taking a hit?
all right, let me see if I
You're
can.
acting a little strange today.
Oh yeah? It's our first mission.
All right, so that was her face, and this is what the rest of her looks like, right? All right, so there's action scenes. She's running around. She got the bodysuit on. The whole thing. All right.
uh,
So the controversy is a bunch of people are trying to pretend that she looks like a child, so therefore anybody who likes it is like some kind of pedo. Like, no, she looks like a 20-year-old Asian woman. That's what she looks like. she did they Asian women tend to look youngish, right? But
Mhm.
you know, she looks like she's grown. But somebody will say something about how she looks like a PDF, like it's like something made for Gooners or whatever. And then when you go, why do you even think that? They act like it's you who's the weirdo. It's like, no, that never popped into my head. It's like, so it is
Gosh.
no, it's freaking it's. But this is what like the fatigue I have for all of this stuff. It's just like the whole purpose of this stuff is escapism, but we can't have escapism because the actresses and actors in Western projects won't shut up. They're in such an opaque bubble, they think the rest of the world is like them, and we're not. So it's like it is it almost too much, bro. But all right, there is something that I saw last week that I never got around to talking about, and didn't even mention it to you. All right, tell me what you feel about this. All right, so there's already a thing where I think it was a convention or whatever, and it was an AI, and you can have a conversation with Stan Lee. All right. So one of the things about the Marvel movies that people liked was the Stan Lee cameos.
Right.
All right. So it's being brought back, and even True Believe's hard tech company Evan Labs made a deal with the late comic pioneers estate to add the icon to their library of famous faces for the resurrection of his voice and likeness in future projects. Clone voice, how ironic for the creator of Spider-Man that strongly resembles Lee's is now part of Evan Labs' iconic marketplace. Through their and 11 reader app, the voice can be licensed for audiobooks and not just stand demand for forte of comics, back issues, and graphic novels. If you want to hear a facsimile of him read a classic tale like Treasure Island, you can as a part of a new series entitled Stan Lee Book Club of the Month. And that's not all. Lee's voice will be available for commercial use in ads, films, and video games. Other creative tools using AI generate comic panels featuring his illustrated likeness and custom templates using his voice and mannerism. Even though this endeavor has been the constant of an excited Stan Lee, that has as the consent of an excited Stan Lee universe, Dan himself, having passed in 2018, well before generative AI was breaking ground and crossing lines, was not around to acknowledge it and give its blessings. Fans on social media and forums are already calling Evan Lab's move here vile, creepy, and likewise been compared to dystopian Orwellian sci-fi a la Black Mirror. Now, the final days of Stan Lee was rather exploitative by various people. He's like 90 years old and being used and all that. And this is just the beginning of this stuff, man. It's while it is interesting, it will. I think the fact that he's dead makes it far more creepier than if he was actually like,
Alive.
like right. So if like Morgan Freeman agreed to this, he's still alive.
Right, yeah.
So he can say that it's cool.
There's
James Earl Jones. What?
There's definitely an ethical component to it.
Mhm.
I don't know, because you think it's okay, like if the estate allows it, like the offspring of the family or of the celebrity. that passed away. I don't know. That's kind of a slippery slope.
J.R.R. Tolkien's son blocked a lot of stuff. J.R.R. Tolkien's grandson, not so much.
Hmm.
So it's just like everything else. The further you get away from the actual person,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and yeah, they're not gonna care. And then you can run it into some crazy stuff, and I'm like, I don't. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about all this stuff. You know.
I do agree with you. You know, if they had passed away, although I can see it for the other side too, because you know it's like, oh well, for new fans that could be like something good for them.
Mhm.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's I don't know. It's a little bit
Yeah, it's a bit much.
disturbing, a little distressing, you know, to the family or just in general, just speaking about it.
Well, like the thing, and what gets me is like I said before, the further you get away from the original person, that family member is not. It's just going to be money to them,
Yeah, it's gonna be money. Yeah.
and the generation that exists at when that happens is not going to be attached to this, right?
Hmm.
So there's a rant that's out by someone from one of the YouTube channels, Midnight something or other, right? He went on this huge rant about the He-Man movie.
Oh, Captain Midnight? Or
No,
oh,
it's his name is Tom. He used to be connected to Nerdrotic with Friday Night Tights and all that, and then he got bounced from that. But he's upset because other people were kind of not necessarily poo-pooing his, you know, his feelings on it, but kind of in a low-key mocking kind of way with him. So he's upset about that. And the thing he's upset about, because apparently there's like some deep detailed lore for He-Man. I didn't even know this, right? But apparently there is. So he's upset that the movie was goofy or whatever. So like a bunch of people liked it, a bunch of people didn't like it, kind of thing. So he's ranting about how they just like for him it's like Last Jedi in terms of how messed up it is, right?
hmm
But he's having a conversation with his partner, like in the channel, and from there, and I get what he's saying. What he's saying is there's like a time period in there where you're gonna feel a certain way because if you're older than them, He-Man is just a goofy like cartoon, right? And if you're like younger, He-Man is just a meme.
Yeah, true.
Right. So that's what you and this is about what I like points to what I was talking about before. It's like the point of view, right? So he's blah, 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 blah. And I'm like listening to him, I'm like, bro, the vast majority of people, even the ones who are around your age, He-Man is that goofy cartoon that came out in the 80s. Now I'm a little old, I guess I'm older. I don't know, but for me, He-Man was like the story of He-Man was it used to come a little comic book inside the package when you buy one. You used to buy a He-Man figure, right? Before they made the cartoon. And it had a little comic in it, and He-Man was like a barbarian who went into Castle Grayskull and got the power of He-Man, right? So when the cartoon came out, it was like, what the hell is this? And it was goofy. It was goofy, had goofy characters. It was one of those things where nobody knew who He-Man was, even though he looked just like Adam, except he had a tan. He rode on a green tiger, and Adam has a green tiger, but nobody can figure out who He-Man was. So like, even as a kid, I'm like, bro, it's just like, what is this? but I still liked it. So it's like when you make this movie, like you basically make it for that because most people that's how they feel about this. And but my point about this is you may get upset about stuff in the future, but to the demographic that they're aiming for, it's not even going to be close to. They're not going to feel about it like how you feel about it, and I'm just there's going to be so much of that the older we get. And yeah,
Mhm.
these 20-year-olds who they just like, it's like the Lord of the Rings stuff. At some point, given how they given how they change stuff, and you know how like when they make characters, they race change characters, and if one person does it, then everyone behind them just acts like that's how it was the entire time. Like April O'Neil, now when they keep trying to do stuff with April O'Neil and the turtles, they make her black. Either make a young black, old black, or whatever. It's like, but April O'Neil is not black. For the 35 to 40 years of her existence as a character, she was a white redhead. But the people who do stuff, they pretend that no, that's what he could be whatever. I'm like, no, that's what she was. And the same people who do that are the same ones. If you did anything like that with a black, oh my god, you are erasing us. How dare you? But they blatantly ignore the amount of redheads they have turned black. Like it's a lot, dude. The list. Let me see if I can find this. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Redhead characters. Okay, so let me find the image. Okay, let me show you this. Yeah, this is like ridiculous, dude. See this?
Oh,
Right. It is a lot.
that's a lot.
Right. And then once they do that, it's like like these comics, they will retroactively go back and change the character. So see the Lego, the animated
Yeah.
black in the Lego. Right.
Oh,
Yeah. So they actually created not only did they create a so this is Wally West. Wally West is a redhead, right? They not only when they did this in the TV show, they created a Wally West in DC. They named him Wally, except his first name something else, but they call him Wally, and he's another nephew of Barry Allen. So Barry Allen has a white redhead Wally West and a black nephew who's Wally West somehow.
oh wow.
Right. So they do this, and then the people who like they take ownership of this stuff, and then they have the nerve to cop attitude. Like, well,
That's a big list. I could only think of a handful in my head, and then oh well.
right. So it's a lot. And what these and like so the people who eat this stuff up, like what they don't understand is one, the people who are doing this will never, ever boost up original black characters because they don't think that they have any value. That is why the Falcon had to take Captain America's mantle, and then he gets a movie. I'm like, when you watch the movie, he didn't need to be Captain America like at all. He could have just been the Falcon. There was no story driven reason for him to be that. He kept getting his butt kicked by people who had superpowers. Him flying with a shield is stupid. It's like you're flying with this circular thing in front of you, giving you all kind of drag, which will make you fall out of the sky. Then he throws it. But you don't have super strength, so how the hell are you strong enough to? You're flying like extremely fast. I can't imagine you have enough like arm strength to chuck this thing in front of you hard enough to hit anything, and not just go a little bit and then go behind you when you pass it up because you're going so fast. Then he had a fight with the Hulk. I was like, what is this? But and this is like I've had conversations with like my roommate and all that about he thinks that I'm being a little too not necessarily emotional, but like getting too riled up about this stuff. Like nah, dawg, I'm just tired. I'm tired. This is supposed to be an enjoyable experience, right? You're supposed to sit back and everything does not need to be a goofy action thing, but I don't need like a lot. I watched my like yesterday I watched my favorite movie. You know what my favorite movie is?
No.
Notting Hill with Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant.
Didn't see that one coming.
Probably dude, I love yeah, I love it. I love that movie. Because it's super simple. It's simple. A dude bumps into a movie star. They have like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the way that they ended it was like, you know, he gets the girl, blah, 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 blah. He joins her life, but she drags him into her life, but just enough, you know? So it ends because they had like two endings. Like if you get the Blu-ray or the DVD, there's an ending that they filmed where he has a friend who has a restaurant and they're having a conversation in the restaurant, and the restaurant was failing, but now it's not, kind of thing. And they ask him how his life going. He's like, it's great, right? But that's that was one of the endings. But the ending that they went with is like previous in the movie. They they go on a date and they go to this thing where it's like a park, but the park is set aside for the people who live in this area, like all the houses and stuff. So the back of the house is towards a park, right? So it's like a private park for all these expensive houses. Okay.
Okay.
And it's for kids. It's for like it's like you have a family house and your kids can play in the park, but it's like right. So the way the movie ends is there's a bench that someone put there that's dedicated to his wife, who was married to for a long time, right? So the movie ends with them just sitting on the bench, him reading a book, her laying on his lap on that bench, and she's pregnant, and the movie just goes off with music playing in the background. Right? Right? So like a happily ever end.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, why can't they do stuff like this no more? I don't need I truly it's not necessarily the romantic, it's just a simple story. This happens, then this happens, then this happens, and this happens. Ending. That's it. I don't need to be lectured to. I don't need to hear about how there's rich people who shouldn't have this. I'm like, I don't need none of that. Right? Don't you just want to just sit back and enjoy a friggin' like a story? It's the same thing with video games and books and comic books and like everything else. Tell me a story. Start me off and then have a nice, like, really won't they kind of thing, and then have a nice ending. Simple. The lecture doesn't need to come like ham-fisted. It can be woven into the story. You know, like you don't necessarily have to do stuff on your own. You can depend on other people kind of story, or you can like, if you try hard enough, you can succeed in stuff like how movies used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's none of these things anymore. Nothing.
There always has to be the message.
No, it's just it's part of the reason why I had so much problem with continuing to talk about pop culture because it's all the same stuff. It
No,
is.
I know what you mean. Just like the simplicity of like a good story and writing.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's hard to find. There's always something like there's like a hidden thing. There's nothing to just like entertain you. It always gets really wrapped up in itself. It's just poorly written. Uh,
All right, let me because this week they also show because this week used to be E3. I miss E3. E3 was fun. It was fun. Uh, it was. I used to look forward to it every year because then it would always happen. Like the shows would be on stage and it would happen during the weekend. So you would get like today would have been Sony's thing, and then tomorrow is Microsoft's, and then you would have Nintendo, right? And it's kind of how it went every year. Then they had like a giant convention, and they had people walking around. So you would have just regular, not regular folks, but like journalists having conversations with actual developers. They would fly into town, fly into LA, and you would go in and you would have these conversations about like I got to go like 3 times because I knew people who did this stuff, and they would like let me use their badge, and I can go. And you could talk to the guys who are making the games, and then you ask questions, and then you get to see the new stuff. And it was more like it was more of a community type thing, right? So now we're doing this thing where it's all like staged and like pre-done. It's no weird stuff or whatever. But it's also not a shared experience because the way they used to do it would be in an auditorium. So you would see like when the first God of War like when they redid God of War, and then it starts off, and then you hear him talking, and then like he steps out of the shadows, and then you see Kratos, but he's different. He's bigger and has a beard and all that other stuff. The audience went absolutely crazy.
mm.
Yeah, and we are
Good old
getting away.
days.
Well, we're like really getting away from that, from the shared experiences, like movie theaters and that kind of stuff. Concerts cost too much now, so you got that. All right, let me show you Wolverine. There's two things in the Wolverine thing I want to show you. Not the blood. There's blood everywhere. It is when Jean Grey first shows up. All right, I'll show you. All right. One, there's no X-Men. There's X-Men, but there's no X-Men team in this thing. This is made by Insomniac Studios, right? They made the Spider-Man games. So the moment that I showed you the Spider-Man game and I told you this cost $250 million, and you were like, really?
Yeah.
All right, this right here is Jean Grey. All right, she's supposed to be beautiful. They just won't do it. This is pretty much what Mary J looked like in the Spider-Man games. Mary J is a supermodel / actress. She is beautiful. Way out of like the Peter Parker is he's a plain everyman. That's his whole thing is he's a plain looking every guy, right? That's who Peter Parker is. He doesn't look like he's special. Now he has all these powers and whatnot, but in terms of what he looks like, he's not special, right? So the fact that guy would get a supermodel is actually quite surprising, but it's like a whole thing about how they was neighbors and yada yada yada, right? And Insomniac makes the game, she's no longer an actress, model. She's a photographer, or she works for the Daily Bugle. So she basically has Peter's job. So she's a reporter now because, heaven forbid, you stick to what the comic character is, right? And she looks like this plain, not very attractive person. When she first comes in, I'm like, who the hell is this? And he's like, well, that's for Jean Grey. I'm like, that's not Jean Grey. I don't know who the hell that's supposed to be. All right. So you
Right.
got that. And me get to the other thing where he gets in and he rescues I okay. So the green dude, that's Leech, right? So when you see him, you know who these folks are supposed to be. They're supposed to be the Morlocks because the folks outside. So I guess this is probably Caliban because he's a albino. He's all white. There's Leech, there's Caliban, and
Let's get you guys out of here.
Are you a superhero?
Lock it.
Sure.
I'm Wolverine.
All right, where is she at? I'm trying to show you Callista. I don't know if she shows up here or when they first appear. Okay, there she is. Lots of murder.
Shit.
All right, so this right here is Callista. She's supposed to be white.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's different.
No, but this is what I mean. But like what I told you before is somebody makes one of these characters black, and then everybody else pretends that the 30 years of this person looking like something completely different just doesn't exist anymore. And if you complain about that, or if Lord help you if you're a white person complaining about that shit, then they'll talk about what like they'll give you some bullshit. I'm like, no, this is not what the character looks like. Like, can we at least try to give people what they actually want? And then what they do is they sit around afterwards and then like, why did this fail? Why did nobody go see the Fantastic Four when you made Pedro Pascal Mr. Fantastic? You made the Silver Surfer female. You got Galactus right. So Galactus looked perfectly fine. The Thing looked fine. The Human Torch was fine. Even the Invisible Girl. The fan cast for Mr. Fantastic was Chechetsky, the dude from The Office, right? And he's on he's on Amazon is Jack Ryan right now and all this other stuff. He's married to I forgot what her name was. All right. So you put him, the fan cast, inside the Doctor Strange movie, and then you instantly kill him in the dumbest way possible. It's like, bro. And then you shocked when your Fantastic Four movie doesn't make enough money.
Eh,
I truly don't understand this. It's like people telling you, we want this, not this. We want this, not this. And they still. But some are listening. But I keep having to remind myself, and I said this repeatedly when I was watching the Xbox One thing, is that most of these games, it's like the movies, the same thing, were greenlit in 2020. 2020, 2021, back when they still believe that they can do these girl boss stuff. And all of them are coming out now. So we got another 2 years of just like, why are you doing this? Until it's like, all right, this ain't working. Well, they'll probably figured out by now that it ain't working. So the stuff that they were probably working on now is probably gonna be more in tune to what people actually want. It's just gonna
I
take a
hope.
while before that. Bro, that God of War thing is not gonna make any money. So like the ratio
Yeah.
on it is like 401,000 to 201,000 like likes to dislikes.
Yikes.
But no, but I you get this thing where it's like you throw the bot stuff in, and then when you get like a huge you get like a huge number of dislikes, a lot of times people will come in and they will just like something just to own the chuds. Right. And it's just like, can we stop with all this? I understand that social media is just 10% of the population yelling at each other over dumb shit, but is affecting like the movies and the books and this. I'm tired of all this stuff. So I don't know. I have been ranting enough for 45 minutes. I don't know. Are you gonna go to see the Odyssey?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, cause like you, I'm basically that's where I'm at. Is this like any hint of anything like that? No, I'm good. So as soon
Which
as I
is kind of
saw,
sad. I liked the first one.
right, so it's like soon as I see the thing and I'm like, and I see that, I'm like, okay, well, that's another thing I used to be excited about. Then I'm no it's
And
like,
for those reasons, I'm out.
yeah, apparently there's a Game of Thrones play where they change all the Starks to black people.
Oh,
There was something I saw today. Oh yeah, during the Xbox thing, and it was there's an interesting looking game that's coming out, but they have elements to it, and it's like the game looks interesting enough where I can just ignore the elements to it, right? So looks like 1940s, 1930s ish, maybe even earlier, like maybe 1900s London, but it's steampunk, right? So
hmm
the one of the main guys in this group is a black dude. Never mind, it was hardly any black people in London at that time, but like whatever. Um, the villain says something about how we're not doing any people. If that guy, and I said this in the during the stream, if that guy was a white guy, she's talking about poor people. But because you made him black, that could mean a multitude of things now. She could still be talking about poor people, or she could be talking about black people. So you open yourself up to the unnecessary things. Same thing with the non fully white Hermione in the new Harry Potter TV show. So now every time any like Malfoy or anybody else calls her a mudblood, original books, he's referring strictly to she comes from two normal people. Now, open to interpretation of a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be unnecessary issues you have added to this show because you want it to be diverse. So, yeah, I think the part of why I'm feel like maybe I need to do like like I'll tell you about this guy named Eric July who used to talk about comics, so he decided to create his own comic stuff, and that's basically what he talks about now.
Yeah.
I think for my own sanity, I just need to figure out how to create something that add to No, I'm serious. Gotta add to stuff instead of just constantly just negativity about things that I don't like. So, but it is so much, so much nowadays. I don't know. Maybe you can just don't pay attention to it. I don't know. It's too much, man. It's too much.
It
But
is.
overall, yeah. But overall, the showcase was fine. I probably am going to get probably a Series S because I don't necessarily need the X because my TV is 4K, but I don't need all that extra horsepower. Just, as long as the game works, I'm perfectly happy, and it'd be cheaper. So, because I'm getting tired of my PlayStation, the controller is ass. I have to replace. No, the battery because for a long time it wouldn't power off. I don't know why like Sony doesn't include that as a feature in their controllers at first. So your battery drains quick. And when you drain the battery a lot, at some point it messes the battery up. So my battery doesn't hold a charge like at all. So I need the new actual controller. And it's just I will admit this is a first world problem. My plastic joystick for my gaming console is not working right. No. Woe is me, right? So I don't know. Anything else you want to add to this thing? I'm done ranting.
It's tough out there. I'll say that.
It's hard out there for a pimp, right?
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, the person who they put in charge of Xbox, who myself and a bunch of people were worried about, she's actually. I'll show you. This is what I'm talking about. Like her. She was an AI person, and so I'm like, I don't know about all that. She came in, she got rid of a bunch of dumb policies. One of the things they kind of announced today that they're doing is they're not gonna put like a lot of their Xbox gaming studio games on PlayStation. Like Gears of War, they're not putting it's gonna stay an exclusive to the Xbox, which is very smart. And they're gonna start giving people more reasons to actually purchase the system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which seems like it should be like a no-brainer, but the last person who was in charge wanted to do this everything's an Xbox thing, where you can play Xbox games on your TV. Like as a concept, it sounds cool, but in terms of your job is to sell units, and you're not selling units if you make everything an Xbox. Like, why do I need to give you $500-$600 for this thing? Like most of the games that they announce are going to be on the PC anyway, which is fine, I guess. But so that is the surprising, at least for me, because I was not expecting that upshot of putting somebody else in charge. So this is new data suggests Xbox is winning back players after revising policies. I'm like, yeah, raising your price for Game Pass like $10 or whatever a month had a bad enough effect that it crashed the server from everyone trying to cancel it. Dude, serious. Yeah, people have everybody and grandma were trying to what? Like, no, this is already getting expensive. You don't have enough games because if you ever see a list of the games that came out for the Atari for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Atari 2600.
Dude, even that had way more games than what's out right now. So like Sony people, they will tell you up and down about how great the PlayStation is. I'm like, yeah, but they don't have any games either. So it's like, yeah, it's a little better, but don't know. I have ranted for like almost an hour, and I'll probably be talking your head off.
Uh,
So any all right. I still haven't figured out the exact format that I want to do with this particular podcast. Still like, more technical stuff, that kind of thing. Just that's why I told you, if you see anything that's interesting, regardless of what it is, we can talk about.
all right.
Yeah, I just kind of need to know ahead of time so I can actually make a thumbnail for whatever. Kind of open up again because, like, dude, my fatigue for pop culture is just
At an all-time high.
like super high. It's just like I don't want to be lectured at anymore. I don't be told that I'm supposed to like something when I don't. Like, no, so I'm not giving you my money. So, all right, well, let me stop sharing this. So, on behalf of myself and Elton, I think we are gonna call this a stream. So, later.
Good night.